What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Still Spectre here, and welcome to another Pokemon Sword and Shield discussion video. Today we have some very interesting stuff to cover. We actually have, I guess, what would be considered a leak in the truest sense of the word, coming straight from the Nintendo of America Twitter page. Guys, let's get right into it. So this tweet reads, "It appears in Pokemon Sword and Shield that gyms in the Galar region are now bigger than ever." So, of course, we kind of figured that character walking into the soccer field was actually, one of the gyms itself. And it turns out we were right, because they actually put that picture in this tweet. And they say that the gyms in the Galar region are bigger than ever. They could very well mean that's in terms of the actual stadium. It's just larger than gyms have been in the past. Although I can think of some kind of larger gyms. I'm thinking back to X and Y in the Kalos region. They had that massive rock climbing gym. I can't remember exactly the name of it. But we've had some big gyms in the past, so I'm almost thinking that they might mean in terms of kind of significance. But yeah, bigger than ever. We don't really know what that means right now. We do know that the gyms are the stadiums. But here is the important part, guys. Read the next part. What types of gym masters are waiting for you to challenge them? So notice here, they're very distinctive with their language. Gym masters, not gym leaders as we typically known. And of course, in Sun and Moon, we had the trial, whatever they would call the trials, the Alolan trials. Lots of people didn't really like those, so I think, Game Freak's really trying to come out and say, hey, this is going to be a normal Pokemon game with the gym leaders back, and you're going to battle to become the champion at the end. It's kind of that standard formula, although I think some things are going to be changing, and this tweet kind of leads into what I'm thinking. They say gym masters. I've got some thoughts about that, and basically in today's episode we are going to actually look at the Galar region itself and take a journey through the whole region, see what's going on, and see some things I've caught that kind of caught my eye, and some theories that I have about some of the really interesting landmarks in this region. It's going to be awesome, but basically, guys, this tweet here, very interesting, and I should note that Nintendo of America actually took this tweet down shortly after releasing it. Very interesting stuff. Gym masters, the word master seems to me to kind of refer to back in Let's Go. Of course, Let's Go was developed after this game started developing, but still, they've got something going on with masters, just like the master trainers, which were actually masters of the types themselves, or the Pokemon themselves. Here, I'm thinking we might have something like masters of the types, but I do have theories about that, and we'll get into that once we start talking about the Galar region. So without any further ado, let's take our first journey through the Galar region and unlock some of the secrets. So of course, when it comes to the Galar region, we of course have this kind of really long region, and it seems like we'll be moving from the south point all the way up to the north. It seems to be very linear in nature, but it gets a little bit more complicated when you actually get into it. So let's actually start off by looking at the main town. This is apparently what's going to be the main character's house, which is right here. This is the house that we saw the character coming out of in the trailers. There are quite a few houses in here. I'm assuming what will happen is we'll just leave the house and have to go up to I think the professor's house up here, or the professor's lab, which I think is right on the lake here. Beautiful scenery. We saw that in the trailer for sure. And there is a little battling arena here, so I think we'll have to do maybe a task or something, or just, go get our starter Pokemon, go through the route. It's pretty much the same as most other kind of main towns, although it is definitely bigger than most. And here we've got another house down here with an arena as well. I'm thinking this might honestly be kind of like a trainer's school or something, which kind of concerns me. I know a lot of people don't really like trainer schools that much, but that seems like it might be a little place to kind of test out our battling skills. I'm not quite sure. But of course, obviously, the only way out of this town seems to be through this cave here, which we might be taking a train to go through. Seems like trains will be heavily featured in this region. And no gym is available in sight. Still, even after we leave, it looks like this cave actually kind of goes out to this other train station, obviously, and it comes out to this massive, huge route here that actually has this kind of marshland, and I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of early on available Pokemon, which is usually not the case. You got those kind of starter normal types and starter birds. I'm thinking the Pidgeys, the Rattata, the Centrets, all those kind of things, Hoot Hoot. But it seems like we'll actually have a good opportunity to explore some really cool wild Pokemon. There's a massive, if you look at this, in terms of the scope compared to the main town. It's almost as big, if not bigger, this first initial route here, which is very, very interesting. And from here, I think we will actually be going into this massive, kind of industrial-looking town. Up, if you go this way, up this route, which is the only other alternative route from here, it looks like it goes into this big, huge town, and I think that's coming a bit later. I don't think we're going to go. I think this bridge is actually going to be blocked off, and we are heading into this kind of industrial town. I'll zoom in all the way here. And it looks really, really cool. What I'm thinking here, guys, so of course the gyms will go up a little bit here. The gyms look like this in the games. Okay, so we're going to point those out. Interestingly enough, I actually can't find 8 gyms. I can only find 5. And we'll, of course, look at those as we go on through the route. I'm going to give you guys kind of a tour of what I think our path is going to be in the journey. It's going to be really fun. So we obviously, of course, come to this industrial town here. And although we don't have that standard kind of gym look, I'll show you guys a couple other ones of them. Right here, right here. We've got a couple of them. They all have that same kind of design. And we don't see that in this first town. But as I said earlier, we go through a long way before we encounter a gym. And I'm thinking the first gym will actually be in this town. And I think this is it, right here. It's got that kind of arena feel. And you might look at this and say, oh, the tower is connected to this. But the tower is actually kind of behind. I don't know if you guys can see this hole here. The tower is actually behind, and it's through the transparent kind of glass ceiling that you can see that. And what other type of building? I can't think of one that would have this kind of hole. I think this is actually an arena. And the front of it where the typing and all that is shown, I think it's just cut off. So what I'm thinking is this will be the first gym, or we might return to this later, but I'm pretty sure it's the first gym, and I'm thinking it's either going to be a steel or a fire type gym, because obviously this is an industrial town. You can see lots of steam. So I'm thinking that could be where the fire location kind of is. But obviously, in an industrial town, you're going to have a lot of steel. And you can see the swords here. The sword and shield theme, obviously, is very, very steel-themed in general. So I'm thinking the first gym might actually be a steel gym in this town. And that's quite a while, like a ways to go from the main town. I'm thinking they have to put a gym in there somewhere. Hey guys, what's going on? It's So from the future here. I just watched the trailer, I rewatched the trailer, and I ended up finding this part of the trailer here, which looks like it takes place in this industrial town. And there is indeed a gym symbol right where I was expecting it would be. So, gym confirmed. Back to the video. And but a steel type gym is actually going to be pretty difficult if you think about it. Given that our starters are water, grass, and fire, the fire type, if you pick the fire type, you're going to have a good time here. But if you pick the water or grass type, a steel type gym might be very, very difficult indeed, especially given that all the biomes that are before this gym don't seem to have any other fire types or ground types or anything. It looks like it's all water and grass, so they might start us off with a real good challenge here. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking will happen there. First gym in that city. And then it looks like we're going through this cave here. It looks like we're coming through this path. I don't see any other path that goes kind of behind here or anything like that. It looks like we'll be going off to the west here through this path and through this cave. And if you notice, there's no real exit to the cave. There are 2 entrances here. We've got the train tracks and then the path. It looks like there's no other exit to the cave, but if you look here, there is a path coming to this next town, which would make sense. So I think this is the exit of that cave here, and we enter in here. And now we've got the second gym battle, what I'm assuming will be the second gym battle. Very well could be the first, since this is, of course, the first actual arena that we see. But yeah, we've got this kind of Stonehenge, kind of crop circle city, and this is, of course, going to be either a first or a second gym battle. And this is, of course, the grass one, which we saw the actual logo on it, and it's green themed. So I think that will be a very interesting town. I think we'll start learning about kind of the mythology behind, or the lore behind the Sword and Shield games. And yeah, then I think we'll be heading out of that town over east here. I don't know, this house looks like it's going to be something special. I'm not sure exactly what, but we'll be going over this bridge, and then I think we'll be heading into this town here, which obviously kind of looks like a water gym. It's got the lighthouse, it's got all the water around it, it's a blue-themed gym. And yeah, pretty simple. I think we'll be hitting those 3 gyms pretty rapidly, which is usually the case in Pokemon games. And here is where things get complicated, guys. If you notice, there's no actual way to get out of these 2 towns, the grass and the water towns. There's just this kind of river. Of course, we usually don't get any type of surfing method until later on. And then there's this huge ridge on both sides. So it looks like there's no other way to go forward except to kind of come back down here. And I'm wondering if they'll kind of send us, if you see here, there's bridges back to this town, which would actually make it a bit easier if we kind of came down this way. If there's a cave here, maybe we get, I don't know. I have no idea. But looks like we'll be coming down this way, maybe back through here. Maybe there'll be some sort of story element at the beginning here, back here. And then we'll be able to cross the bridge now and go up further north to this massive city. Now, this city really confuses me. It's it looks like it's almost like one of the what would be the final city in the game. Like, it's a big, massive, huge castle. We've got dragon themed stuff. You know what it really reminds me of? It really reminds me of Blackthorn City in Johto in the Gold, Silver, and Crystal games, where it was dragon themed, and then there's that cave if you look in the background, just like the Dragon's Den. I'm thinking this will be later game, although we will, of course, have to access it to get to the next part of the whole region. Because if you see what I'm talking about here, there's no other way to get up. This is the only way, going through this middle path. So I think this will open up the next area of the game, this area here, and this is where things get really interesting. Of course, we've got this dragon thing. I think we'll just get an entrance to here, maybe fool around in this tower a little bit. I'm not exactly sure what this is going to be, but I don't think we'll be able to access this main kind of castle area here. I think that would be blocked off until later in the game. So we'll enter here, probably some massive story element will happen here, and then we'll be going either east or west. I'm going to say west first. I don't know why, I just have a bit of a feeling because normally snow-type areas in the Pokemon games are later in the game. If you think back to almost any game, actually, like Johto, I'm thinking Sinnoh, it's all later games. So I think we'll be going to the west first. And here is our next gym battle. So this is either the third or fourth gym battle that I can find. And it looks like we've got kind of the Dugtrio or the Diglett here. And so I'm thinking this will be a ground gym. It could also be a rock gym, but to have the Dugtrio there, everything's very kind of earthy. I think it will be a ground gym. And up here we've got this weird looking kind of, I guess, monument kind of thing. And I'm thinking this could very well be something connected to the legendaries. This is actually one of the regions where I'm like, I have no idea where the whole legendary thing is going to go down. It's either going to go down in the actual castle here, or this thing right here is the only thing I can think of in terms of legendaries, because it's got this kind of monument. It really reminds me of, if you think back to when we met Solgaleo and Lunala in Sun and Moon, this kind of looks kind of a similar kind of theme to it, and it's got the mountain and everything. So yeah, we'll see what happens there, but then I think from this gym we'll actually be taking this path, which leads into the forest, and this is one of the most exciting areas I can think of, guys. Oh my gosh, it looks so cool. It looks like this mystical kind of fairy tale land. So I'm of course thinking this will be a fairy gym. Some people have been suspecting that it might be a bug gym, but I mean, look at it. It's pink, it's purple, it's got kind of these fairy tale houses, the massive mushrooms in a forest. I'm thinking this is a fairy gym. I don't think there's any other way around it. And of course, with this game having been developed after, like right after X and Y, they started development, I think they'd want to showcase the fairy type a little bit more. I definitely think that's going to be a fairy type gym. And we'll probably have to come back through here, back to the castle, and around the other side. Maybe we'll have another story element that brings us back there. Who knows? We don't really know much about story, but I'm just looking at the gyms right now because we've got a couple interesting things coming up, guys. So we go to the east here, and I think this cave here with the bridge is actually going to be blocked off. And we're going to have to go through this labyrinth instead first to reach this massive mansion. And if you look, guys, there's actually what appears to be a gym on top of the mansion. Not a lot of people have caught this. And look at the color of the gym, guys. And this eye here, it looks like it might be kind of like a dark mansion gym, which is actually the first dark type gym that we'll ever have in Pokemon history. This is huge. It's actually amazing. I'm so excited for this thing. And to get through the labyrinth, to have to go through the labyrinth to get to it, just incredible. I'm really excited for this. So I think we'll go in, probably have to face the dark type gym at some point, and then we come out this way through kind of the snow area and the water to reach this, I guess, beach kind of thing. It's not really a beach because, of course, it's all ice and whatnot. But yeah, and then we'll have to come in through this town, and this town is really, really interesting as well. It kind of looks mysterious. I'm thinking there might be like a ghost type gym here. Who knows? It's a really weird looking town. It's got that kind of purple, dark kind of theme. Very mysterious. You can't really see much into it. But I'm thinking there very well might be a ghost type gym in here. So that would of course be gym number, what are we on now? I think that's gym number 7. So we've got, let's do a little count of what we got through here. So maybe gym 1, we've got gym 2, gym 3, gym 4, gym 5, gym 6, and then maybe gym 7, and then I think we'll be coming back to the castle, and I'm assuming if they are going by the standard 8 gym formula, that the 8th gym will actually be maybe in this main tower of the castle here. A dragon type gym, because they typically reserve dragon types for the last gym. If you think back to Black and White, if you think back to Gold and Silver, the Dragon Gym is actually the last gym in the game usually. And then of course it'll lead us into Victory Road or something. Some sort of Victory Road, I think, will be right in this cave. But what's interesting is we should point out, guys, there aren't actual arenas for 3 of these gyms, I think. This one here, and this one here. Those are just mainly speculation. If they only have the 5 visible gyms, I'm thinking we might get something that's very related to the master trainers in Let's Go, where we have kind of type masters, and maybe the actual gyms themselves kind of, they can change, or different leaders can come in for all the different types, and then we have to beat all the different types, and then we get to go through Victory Road to the final city, where we see this right here. Of course, if there are the 8th gym, then this will just be kind of the Elite Four of the Pokemon League, which it kind of looks like it could very well resemble. And this is very interesting, guys, because we're actually getting access to a huge, massive city here. And what I think this is, because it looks like the final, like, massive gym or Elite Four or Pokemon League thing is in here, is I'm thinking this will be an actual massive post-game facility, similar to kind of the Battlefronts here, because it looks like, I don't know, just the way that I've imagined it, going through the region so far, I think this will actually be a massive post-game area. This could be the Battle Tower. They've got, of course, you know, Big Ben. They've got kind of like the Parliament building. It could just be a massive post-game facility where this is actually the Elite Four or the Pokemon League. And I'm thinking that there could be some kind of tournament-style thing because, of course, all of these looks like soccer arenas. And soccer is, of course, performed usually in tournament-style things. So I'm thinking we could very well have a tournament-style thing that happens here where it might be actually closer to the anime, where it's actually like an actual, you know, the Pokemon League itself, where you have this final tournament for the region. I'm thinking they might switch up the Elite Four a little bit. I think they're sticking with the classic gym style, unless the 3 gyms that I'm suspecting aren't here, and it's just 5 gyms. But I think this Pokemon League will be actually switched up a little bit. We'll see what happens there, but I think this is going to be a massive post-game facility kind of area. You can start getting into competitive mons. I think there'll be lots of areas where you can maybe, who knows, maybe change natures, just like in Let's Go. But there's a lot of space here. And then, of course, there is kind of this background area here filled with mountains. I'm thinking we might have to actually have something like between Johto and Kanto, where it's kind of like Mount Silver, so it's a very difficult, lots of wild Pokemon. Maybe that's where we'll get some like actual older Pokemon from the past games, a huge area to explore. That's what I'm thinking will be back there. But overall, guys, this region is looking very, very interesting. It all depends on if those hidden gyms are there. If those hidden gyms are there, then that means there's 8. It's kind of the classic formula, and then we go to the Elite Four with the post-game battle facility. If those hidden gyms aren't there, and they've actually shown us all the gyms that actually look like, you know, the arenas, then I'm thinking it could do some kind of type master thing, which is where that whole tweet from Nintendo comes back into play. Gym Masters. It could be that they're the master of the type, and we actually have to face all the different types before we can actually get access to maybe some sort of tournament-style thing with all the gym leaders. Something like that. Who knows? It all depends on those hidden gyms. But yeah, guys, those are my thoughts. That's how I think we will progress through the region. It's looking like an awesome game. I mean, if you look closely into this thing, it looks like a really, really awesome path. Lots of open area. Lots of people have been saying that the region looks kind of small. I don't think it looks small at all. Like, if you really look into it and think that they're not going to put every single thing into this map, it's more like just kind of a, what do you call it, like a simplified version of the region, where if you actually look into it, like, imagine how big this castle is going to be once you're actually standing in there. It's going to be huge, 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 huge. But this is the main part that really, really, oh, it excites me. It excites me. Never before have we had this massive city where the Elite Four is. Usually the Elite Four or the Pokemon League is just in this separate, you know, its own area. But to have this gets me excited for some competitive battling stuff. Honestly, like some post-game facility, I think it's happening. I think that's what's happening. But yeah, guys, those are my thoughts on the region itself and all the gym leaders. Very excited for the Gym Masters concept, whatever it is, and the Dark-type gym. Super, super excited for that. I've always wanted a Dark-type gym, but you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments down below about all the stuff that we covered today. What areas in the region most excite you? What are you most excited for when it comes to gym battles? What do you think this massive city is in the background? And if we'll have a little, you know, route to discover at the back there with new Pokemon. You guys let me know your thoughts. Very excited to hear them. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Gen 8 discussion videos, and I will see you guys next time.